I'm like, my throat's like a little bit, because I just got back from like a band trip, and we went to this place in Virginia called Busch Gardens, and it was raining and cold the whole day, so
So she's sick.
just a little. I won't get her sick. It's okay. So, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, is there anything that you want to start off with? Any experiences that you've had recently?
I mean, with the band trip, like, we had to kind of make peace with like some people who we weren't really friends with in like a group, so like we wouldn't be lonely. And I realized it's just like, you don't have to hate on like people, you know, but
Yeah.
you know, it's not that hard. Like, we had to just get it together. We can't hate each other, you know?
Okay, so you kind of had to tolerate some people that you weren't really tolerating
I
before.
think it was like because I'm friends with like these people, but they had to make peace in the trip. So like because while I hung out with other friends, like they kind of had to stick together. But yeah, it's fine. Just like, it's not that big a deal. Just peace. What about you?
I haven't had anything recently. I've realized that boundaries are really important, especially in the workplace. We'll say that. Because recently I was asked to stay later than I normally would have, and it really wasn't fair to me. So in the future, I'm definitely not going to allow that to happen.
You get that extra money in your paycheck, though.
I did, which is honestly the only reason that I did it. But
that's what I do when my boss is like, can you cover for somebody today? I'm just like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, it's more money for me. So what else did you want to say today?
well, one of the potential topics I wrote down was negative cycles, because I feel like it's hard to end a cycle that you know is negative, and bad habits are really hard to break.
Truly. And that's definitely what I'm trying to get over. There's a lot of stuff that I need to do, that like in negative cycles that I need to break to like just, I don't know, just like for my personal benefits, not for others, but just so like I can live life like as I should, without having to overthink it and complicate it. And I definitely think that's a big thing for other people, because you don't want to live in a world where you like, it's like the thing like, work smarter, not harder. Because life is just like, people make it much more difficult than it really needs to be. And if you want to live a peaceful life, you really have to really take it one step at a time, and not be too mad at yourself whenever you mess up.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is kind of related to something that we also wanted to talk about, but there's this obsession with people to constantly improve. And I feel like people see improvement as a linear thing, but it's not. It is a roller coaster. And improvement doesn't have to be every single day. You know, you just have to try your best. If you have a goal, try your best to meet that goal. You don't have to meet it every single time.
Yeah, that's like a big thing. Like, people are like, and something that I do a lot is like, if you don't get it right on the first try, you like, oh, I'm gonna quit. Like, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it again. And that's what you really have to. It's one step at a time. You won't get anything on the first try. It's consistency. And because I'm in band and she used to be in band with me, what was that one thing Mrs. T always said? Like, practice how you play, practice how you perform. So that's like a big thing. Like, practice makes perfect. Consistency will make, you know, it's just consistency. What's next? Or anything else you want to add on to that?
I mean, we can always circle back, but rejection pointing you in another direction, that was another thought I had.
Do you have any like life experiences like that?
I think in terms of like romantic relationships and whatnot, yes. So I think there was this guy that I really liked in high school, and he I met him because he was one of my brother's friends, and I did have a crush on him. But I realized after a while that, you know, he wasn't interested in me. And I felt very spurned. I was like, how could he have rejected me? But I realized that we were also very similar people and probably would not have made a very good relationship. And so I think being rejected in that sense kind of led me away from the wrong person. But I don't think that we should ever feel badly about, you know, romantic relationships not working out, because, you know, there's always the next person, or, you know,
or yourself.
Yeah, like you don't necessarily always need to be in a relationship or to have a relationship.
That's a big thing that people need to realize. It's like, you don't need a relationship to be happy. And like, if you're not in a relationship, like there are people that be in a relationship for so long, and then once they break up, they talk to somebody new in like 2 weeks. And I'm just like, I sit there and I'm like, how? And they're like, well, I need somebody. I'm like, you don't.
And that's honestly, if I were in a relationship where somebody didn't value me as a person, they only stayed with me because they needed another person to be beside them, to parent them or to baby them or to take care of them, I would feel very hurt, because it's like, you don't love me as a person. You love me as the body that's next to you, taking care of you and providing emotional support. Like at that point, you know, it's not a real relationship. It's not real love.
Like, you have to think about that, like, as yourself. Like, I've had to tell, like, my friends stuff, I'm like, you don't need a relationship to be happy. Like, you have yourself. And people are like, well, I don't love myself. And I'm just like, well, that's something that we need to work on. Yeah. Like, you have so many years left on this earth, and it's like, how are you gonna just sit there and wallow in pity? Like, and then they turn to like drugs and alcohol and stuff. Yeah. And I sit there, I'm just like, I see them waste away their lives, and I'm just like, it's not worth it.
And I think people too, they don't try to improve themselves. I mean, like, obviously I don't agree with the whole constantly improving thing. We just touched on that. But I feel like people who don't try to improve their lives in any way.
Like, so sniffly. That's so gross. I have to just go to the bathroom and like blow my nose in at some point, but okay, keep going.
But yeah, like people who constantly are just making excuses for why they can't get better, why they can't try to get better.
Or like they do it to like avoid situations.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'd be like, oh, I can't go here, like I need to do this, this, and this. Like, I can't make it just because they want to avoid something that they're scared to do, and you don't need that, you know?
I think people are afraid to face themselves. They really are. And you have to face yourself before you can love yourself. You have to actually recognize who you are as a person, your flaws, your strengths, and you need to, you know, start working on that. Start working on your relationships with other people, working on your relationship with yourself, taking care of yourself. And like a lot of people that I know that have been in toxic relationships don't take care of themselves. Like that's the main factor, is like they don't have any concern for themselves, so they'll let themselves get walked over. And you know, people who are in a position that they can't get out of the relationship, that's not what I'm talking about. But people who can leave the relationship and willingly allow themselves to be mistreated, that's when it's a problem, because it's like, you don't love yourself. You can't be in a relationship that benefits you or makes you happy if you don't love yourself.
That's how you know that they don't love themselves. It's like, if they realize how badly they're being treated and they're like, I don't deserve this, but when they don't recognize that and they don't leave, that's how you know that they're like, they don't love themselves. They don't treat themselves like as they should. Like, 'cause they don't leave. Mm-hmm. They let themselves get all walked over. And that's something that people need to realize. It's like, your soul in your body, like, it works so hard for you every single day to even live. And you need to do so much to take care of that, even if it's just like 5 minutes of like meditation or something, like a day. Or it's just like feeding it right. Like, I see people who chug like 5 energy drinks like a day, and I'm just like kudos, but it's at the same time, it's just, I couldn't physically do that, knowing what that would, like, do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think people don't recognize, and that's like one of the things that we were talking about earlier, the negative cycles. So they'll chug energy drinks, but then they won't go to sleep at night, and they won't do their homework, and they just put themselves in this cycle of never doing what they're responsible for, or never taking care of themselves, and it just keeps going. It keeps going. Like, you lose sleep, so you need the energy drinks. You don't do your homework, more of it piles up. Like, it all starts to add up.
And it's like, I'm not saying, like, because I've had many energy drinks in my life. Like, I'm not saying, like, you shouldn't have that stuff, because it's, you know, they're good, but don't have, like, 5 every single day. And, like, you see people who've, like, never touched a vegetable in their life, and like, you sit there, you're like, because have you ever been on, like, vacation, and you've eaten junk for so many days, like, you just want to see, it's like a broccoli.
Yes.
And I'm just like, I need broccoli or something.
I have this uncle who only eats like ramen noodle packets, and like the only vegetables that he gets are from like the little flakes that you see in like the ramen noodle packets.
I couldn't, like, I don't want to be like, oh my god, like, junk food, processed food, ew. But it's like, because we eat that stuff. We're not gonna lie.
We do. It's not constant, but
No, because it's like, if I had that stuff for so many days, I would just feel blah. You know?
not feel good.
I would not feel good. I would feel bloated, puffy. Just, I don't know, I just wouldn't feel good. And I feel like, because I used to do that every single day during, like, quarantine, I was just kind of, I can't do it anymore. I just can't.
And our bodies like having cyclical things. They like when your sleep schedule is aligned. They like whenever you don't eat at a certain times of the day, and you do eat at different times of the day. You know, your body likes consistency. So I think that's important too, is like consistently giving it the nutrients it needs, the hydration, the sleep, you know, that's important.
People always, like, I don't want to say poke fun at me, because, like, I go to bed at like 8:39, but that's because I like to start my day really, like, early. But because I go to bed at like a early time while everyone else goes to bed at like 2 a.m. and then they get like 4 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
I sit there, I'm like, you wonder why you're falling asleep in class. And my friends tell me, like, I'm so tired. I'm like, well, what time do you go to bed? And they're like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, well, why did you try to fall asleep? And they're like, well, I was playing Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like, I play Fortnite, but I don't play 1 a.m. at Fortnite.
Yeah, I think, like, I mean, if you're dealing with a heavy class load and, you know, you have other things going on, you have to stay up. Like, that's understandable. But if you knowingly get on your Xbox at 11 o'clock at night to play until 2 a.m. and you have school the next day and you have to wake up at like 5 a.m., yeah, that's very toxic. You should not be doing that.
Like, if I were to have homework and stay up till 1 a.m., that's fine. But your body needs sleep to focus to finish that work. Because if you don't get much sleep, you won't be able to focus on what you're doing, and then you'll get bad grades. And then it's like, I would rather suffer with studying than suffer with my bad grades. Agreed. Anything else?
Yes, people pleasing.
That's a big one.
Because I have struggled with that for a long time.
That's something that I've just recently started to get over, is people pleasing, because I'm a big people pleaser. Literally, when she like texts me and she'll be like, I don't know, I don't want to be like bland, but it's like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's mad at me, she hates me. I'm like, she doesn't want to hang out with me.
What?
I don't know, like, if I feel like I have to text you, be like, what time do you want to come pick me up? Like, I feel so bad.
Oh no, don't feel bad. But no, I understand, like, because I work in customer service too, I feel like I'm always kind of trying to feel out other people, feel out what their emotions are and how they're reacting to me. So I'm very in tune with that, but it also makes me very self-conscious sometimes whenever I'm, like you said, like asking other people to do favors for me or stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's like, because I feel like, because I also know gas is very expensive and I can't really drive yet. And she'd be like, I need to go get gas. I'm like, oh my God. Like, oh my God, it was so bad. No. But yeah, because I also work with like patients and stuff. If I ever like mess up like anything, if it comes to like what I'm doing, and if I like, maybe I don't want to be like accidentally hurt them, but like I do this thing, it's like a laser, and it's like this hot, like, looks like a light bulb, and it like helps with like muscle tissues, and if it like gets caught on their skin, if you hold it there for too long, it can burn. And if it accidentally gets caught on someone's skin, and like they'll be like, oh my God, ouch, and I'm like, I am so sorry. Like, I feel so bad. Or like if they're like, okay, that's getting really hot, can you turn it down? Like, I feel horrible. I'm just like, oh my God, like, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
You know. And it's like, because my boss is like, because I can't sit at my job at all, because it's like unprofessional. So it's like, my boss is very much like I love him, but he's very like old schooled. So it's like, my hair always needs to be up, you always have to be standing, good posture, good everything. And it's just a lot of stuff. Like, I feel like if I do anything wrong, and if he calls me into his office, he's like, okay, this is what you need to stop doing. I'm just like, I'm like, okay. Yeah. I love my boss, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I feel like I've always had a negative relationship with criticism too, because I will accept criticism. I'm not, you know, going to have a tantrum if somebody tells me that I've done something wrong, but I will perseverate over it. I will internalize it. I'll be like, oh my gosh, they told me that I didn't do this right.
I never stop thinking about it.
Yeah. And like, again, like, I've always been a really high like overachiever with my grades and everything, so whenever I would get certain grades back or like comments about my essays or like other things, I would literally be scared to read them, because I'm like, oh, I want to avoid the criticism, or I want to avoid like hearing what people have to say, because it's like, it makes me uncomfortable. But I've realized that, you know, people pleasing it's really like I'm making it all about myself, when in reality I just need to, like, you know, be like, okay, it's not their intention to make me feel this way, I just need to, you know.
Yeah. That's the big thing, is like, with people pleasing, I feel like I'm making it all about myself, when I'm really not. Like again, with like, I feel like nowadays, like, you could do anything and be called like a pick-me girl.
Oh yeah.
And so now I'm scared to, like, if I do anything, I feel like, oh wait, am I being like self-centered about this? Am I being like gross about this? And like, I just thought about this now, is like, us doing this, like, people are scared to be vulnerable, and we're over here being like vulnerable, and that's something you can't be scared to do, because like, if you need to express your emotions to talk about something, like, you should do that. Like, don't be like, you're not gonna be like, the bros aren't gonna make fun of you for crying. Like, you can be vulnerable and do good in life, you know. Like, I think that can get you more places than you being closed off.
Agreed. I feel like people appreciate vulnerability so much. Like, everybody that I've met and have been honest with about my emotions and my experiences, it's always been positive. Sharing my experiences with other people and my emotions and being vulnerable, it has always benefited me, because people see you more as a real person. You know, I think they're bound to see you as less perfect, or, you know.
Yeah.
Because I think some people, like, people have told me that, like, they can't be around, or like, they can't watch what I post sometimes, because they like have this perception that it's like super perfect. But like, that's why vulnerability is important, because then people see you more as a real person. They don't see you as just like whatever show you have.
And it's like, I don't feel like nobody's perfect, but it's like, everybody has like their flaws and like things that make them like them. And like, I say that, like, we like to people watch, like, not like stalk, but like, if we're out like eating somewhere, like, we like to people watch. We're just like, I don't know, people being people are just so cute, because you see like their different like habits, and like, it's just little things that make them, and it's like,
It's very endearing. It's cute.
It's like, what? It's like hope core.
Yes.
Core. Okay. Anything else?
this one. So we wanted to talk about the influence of media in our lives and our habits and routines as it relates to beauty standards that we have seen and struggle with, as well as the struggle of staying offline in an online world.
Yep. Do you want to start that?
Sure. So I'll start with the struggle of staying offline. I think finding balance has been not necessarily a struggle, but it's definitely taken some effort. We've talked about time limits and putting time limits on your phone, but like I feel kind of guilty for not going on Snapchat as often, but I really don't want to go on there for more than like 15 minutes a day. And I think some of my friends are like, oh, like you don't post or you've disappeared, but I really don't want to be online much. I don't.
Yeah, that's like, and because like I love Instagram Reels so much, but if I'm on it for too long, I don't know, like I don't know, like suddenly I feel like my whole body is like dirty, like my hair's greasy, like I gotta go take a shower, and I'm just like, I need to do something. Like I need to clean my room, I need to go do homework, I got to do something because I feel like guilty, you know. And I feel like that's something that's like you train your mind to do when you realize how like bad the internet is sometimes, or like not like how it's bad, but it's like if you're on it for too long. Like I realized like for 3 years how many times I've just been on my phone all day. I realized how much I've really missed out. So I kind of like wired my brain to kind of be like, if I'm on my phone for too long, I'm like, what am I doing? Like go for a walk, go outside. It's nice out.
Yeah, I think it's so much easier too now that it's getting warm.
Yeah,
because then we can just go outside and we don't have to be stuck inside on our phones.
Exactly. Like I'm so excited for that like hot weather that's coming up. It's like gonna be in the 70s and 80s. I'm so excited.
It's gonna be nice.
I'm so excited. And like, what are your habits and like routines like now?
So when I wake up in the morning, I don't go on my phone while I make breakfast and do that sort of thing. Like I like to have just like quiet time in my day where I'm not on my phone at all. And after that, like I'll listen to a podcast or something. But I think it's nice. I've heard like that tip from a lot of different people that like when you first wake up, you shouldn't be looking at your phone because it'll influence your mood for the rest of the day, which I found to be true. Like if you're scrolling first thing in the morning, it's not good.
Yeah. That's the thing. Is like what I've been trying to do. Like when I make myself breakfast and I sit down at my table, I'll read a book, or I just like sit there like in thought. Something that I do every morning is like I do yoga in the morning, and I used to not watch YouTube videos. I used to just like do, but recently I've been like going just to my basement and turning on my TV and doing like YouTube videos, and I personally really like it because I don't feel as like stiff throughout the day, even though I am really young. Like if I sit down or like I'm not moving for too long, like I feel like my body just doesn't feel good. I just like I need to move my body, and that's like a good thing if I do some yoga in the morning. It makes me feel ready for the day.
Yeah, some movement in the morning.
Yes, and definitely when I eat breakfast, I sit at my table, not in my bed or anything, like where the sun is like shining from the window. I can look out. I don't know. It's very peaceful.
Yeah, and like another reason that I feel like first thing in the morning we're vulnerable and we can't really, I think it's important that we just let our minds rest and wake up with us, move our bodies a little bit.
Yeah.
But like if you're scrolling first thing in the morning and it's just gonna set off your day.
When the sun is awake, I am awake. I love to open up my curtains and I just like look out, because I have like a little farm that I live by, and like I hear like the animals like in the morning sometimes, and it's so relaxing and nice, you know. And like what's your favorite? Do you have like a favorite breakfast that you like to make?
So I make a bunch of different breakfasts. It's like a few different combinations, but I always have Greek yogurt on hand. Sometimes I don't have it, but I usually do Greek yogurt with some type of fruit or berry. and I always have some type of protein, so either an egg or recently I've been doing chicken sausage.
Ooh, that's good.
It's so good. The Trader Joe's, like, I'll have like one of the links and then have like my, so it's like a very protein heavy breakfast, I would say. But I like that.
That's the big thing. I feel like people always like prioritize like carbohydrates, but I feel like I always try to prioritize protein first.
Yeah, because if I know that I'm getting a good amount of protein at the beginning of the day, it's like not as much of a concern for me later on, and I won't feel as guilty if I'm eating, like, if I have a good breakfast, I don't really like worry as much about like what I'm having for dinner. Like, I can just like breathe. I can be like, okay, I can like eat another roll, or like, you know, like I don't feel, when I have a good breakfast, I feel like the rest of my eating for the day is set up to be nice.
My favorite breakfast has to be a yogurt bowl.
So good.
I literally add like 4 or 5 different like fruits to my yogurt bowls. And I love to add like granola, coconut flakes, peanut butter, and honey.
So good.
So good. Like, it's so, I don't know, that's like why I love waking up in the mornings. Like,
I know, but I'm like always so excited for my morning routine. Like, my morning routine is so nice.
I kick my feet when I go to bed because I'm like, I gotta wake up and I gotta have my yogurt bowl. But I used the rest of my Greek yogurt this morning, so I was like, buy more.
I feel like people too, like, they dread mornings, but like, I feel like we have to like, you know, be excited about mornings.
You know, like, I love my sleep. I'm a really heavy sleeper, and I dream every single night, and I always have like really crazy dreams. That's why I love to go to bed. And then I know when I wake up, I have my yogurt bowl, and I'm just gonna, if it's like now every single Saturday when me and Dahlia do this, like, that makes me even more excited for the morning. Like yay. Like, once Monday hits, I'm like, okay, I wait till Saturday. And I get to, yeah, I love it.
We're excited about these Saturdays.
Very. It's like my new, it's again with the routines, like this is the new routine every Saturday, you know. And our posting schedule, it's like a little weird now. Like, I swear our postings will be soon very consistent, but we're still getting in the hang of this. So thank you for being patient to our 7 buddies. I didn't even see it. I was so like, when I like logged into the our channel this morning, I was like 7 subscribers. And she was like, yeah, like 2 people commented on our video already. I was like, oh my god.
Because we didn't expect anything. We're just kind of doing this as like a project.
Yeah, just for fun.
Just for fun.
And then when she said that, I was like, oh my god. I was so happy. So thank you for joining us. And then beauty standards are our next topic.
Yes.
Beauty standards are crazy.
Yes. And like, both of us know our worth. We both know that we're beautiful. But I do think that prolonged activity on social media is bound to make people insecure. Even if you're very secure in yourself, I feel like seeing, and here's the thing, if you're on TikTok too, because of their algorithm, they will continue sending you videos. If they see that you watch pretty girls, or you're like, you know, fixated on pretty girls, if you're like a girl sitting in her room like super insecure, they will keep sending you these videos over and over again. Like, I actually just wrote an essay on this, but like the algorithmic nature of it literally perpetuates people's insecurities. It will keep sending you videos of things that might trigger your insecurities.
And it's like, I know you're not like a natural blonde, but yeah, fun fact of the day. She's not
my natural hair is like.
And like, I'm more of like a dirty blonde. I'm not like a bleach blonde, but I feel like people hate on like blondes so much. People always are like, no, your hair is brown, but like, I don't know, maybe it's because I need to maybe wash my hair, but I'm just like a very dirty blonde. But people hate on like blonde girls so much just for living there, like, oh, it's always the blondes. And I'm just like, I sit there, I'm like,
yeah, I think that there's just so many judgments placed on women based off of their appearance, and it's not okay.
Like, a blonde hair and blue eyes girl can just be living and laughing, and she'll get hate on, like, oh, she's a pick-me, oh, like, she's this and that. But then it's like, if it's anybody else, then they're like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful. But like, And you know what? I'll look on comments of pretty girls and I see these girls being like, oh, my parents did the wrong position, or it's like, oh, like, why can't I do that? Or it's like, or they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna put down these bag of chips. Like, girl.
Yeah.
Then you wonder why you're like, why am I not pretty? Because you're saying stuff like this, or they're like, why isn't it me? Or it's like, or they're like, oh, I hope he doesn't see this. It's like, if you're worried that he'd see this and he'd leave you, then what does that say about him?
Exactly. I think people are just too, like, they're chronically online. And you can tell the people that are commenting that are online all the time. They're always exposed to this type of content. And it's like, if this content doesn't make you happy about yourself, it's okay. Like, you don't have to watch it. You don't have to go on TikTok.
Like, there's 8 billion people on this earth. Like, not everybody's gonna, like, I hate people like, oh, they're like, oh, everybody hates me. Like, there's 8 billion people on this earth. Not everybody's gonna hate you.
Exactly.
Like, we don't hate you, okay? If you're looking for people that don't hate you, we don't hate you. We love you. Because we're so open to people. Like, I don't know, she's more like, you're more extroverted, you're more introverted, I'm much more extroverted. But when it comes to people, like, we're very open and welcoming with open arms, and it doesn't matter what you look like, what you believe in. Like, as long as you're a nice, decent person, you're welcome. Exactly. 100%. And that's a big thing, is like, people like judge on people, like have like friends with people, only certain types of people, like people are friends with only certain types of people. They're like, oh, you can only be this and this, you can only like believe in this and this, you can only dress like this and this, like only pink on Wednesdays. Like, no, we're not gonna do that.
I'm friends with a lot of, like, I feel like I'm friends with a lot of unlikely people too. I've made friends with people that are like 5 years younger than me and we're best friends. I'm friends with people that are completely different than me, that wear cowgirl boots and hunt. You know, I have made friends with people that are completely different personalities.
Yeah.
It really isn't about necessarily everyone being the same. Like, I think it's just about acceptance and having fun.
Like, I'm best friends with like some Lululemon girls, and then I'm best friends with goth girls, like goth people, and it's like, I don't know where I fall, but I fall in my own category, and I'm comfortable where I am. You know, I'm very much of like a monotone, like, I don't want to be like minimalist, but I mean, that's like I'm my own little category, and it's like, I'm not gonna be like, you can only fit in this category and be friends with me. Like, no, like, everybody's welcome. Yay. Okay, anything else?
I personally do not have anything else, but I don't know.
Do we have any story times we could talk about? Story time. I'm trying to think.
I thought of a controversial one, but I probably shouldn't. Yeah. I think it's a little bit too soon after graduation.
That's funny.
So,
I don't know. We'll get back to this. We're back. We're back. I don't know, we tried to look for ideas, but I know how we talked about like setting time limits and stuff. I feel like I need to hold myself accountable for those things. I think like there are days where I don't live up to like what I want to accomplish. Like, I don't accomplish everything I want to, and I think that's a challenge. Like, trying to get things done, but also not beating myself up about not getting it done. I try to So up, up. Hello. So we got our crepes. What did you get? I got a macaroon, which is like brown sugar. It has whipped cream, and found this nice sunny spot. We just wanted to show you. Goodbye.